Hello everybody, welcome back to my channel, or if you are new here, welcome to my channel. My name is Jade and I am currently 38 weeks and 3 days pregnant with my second baby, and I just honestly cannot believe that I am saying that. Like, I cannot believe that I am here. I feel like I am getting very close to giving birth, and I haven't done a pregnancy update or any YouTube videos for like over a month now. I've just been so busy, but I didn't want to just like leave my pregnancy videos there. I did want to check back in with you guys and update you, so I thought I would do a little pregnancy update here. I'm gonna try and make this really short and sweet because I've just managed to get my little girl down for a nap, and I don't know how long she's going to be asleep for. And this is literally the only chance I've got to sit down and talk to you guys. So I just thought, yeah, come here, give a little bit of an update. I think the last time that I did a pregnancy update was literally when I just got to the third trimester, so like 28 weeks, 29 weeks or something like that. And I'm now 38 weeks, so it's literally been like 10 weeks since I've checked it in. So there's going to be quite a lot to cover, but at the same time, not really too much. I've had, honestly, a really lovely pregnancy again. Obviously it's been harder the second time around with having a toddler, and there have been some differences, but most of it, to be honest, has been pretty similar to when I was pregnant with my daughter. I've been very lucky to be blessed with another low-risk pregnancy with no, consultants or anything like that where I've needed any extra tests or anything like that. So I'm very lucky. I do consider myself very lucky, and I'm very grateful for that. The only thing that I did have was at about 36 weeks, 37 weeks, so only a couple of weeks ago, I did have a UTI, and that was actually missed by the hospital. So I was having some abdominal discomfort, abdominal pain and like cramping, and I was having lots of Braxton Hicks, lots of tightenings. So at one point I really thought that I was going into labour, but then I was having some vomiting, and it's only because my brother-in-law, well, my brother-in-law to be, my sister's partner, is an obstetrician, and he came round. I was at my mum's and I was led on the floor basically in so much pain with these cramps and stuff in my belly, and I had been being sick, and he come round to collect my nephew because my nephew was also at my mum's, and luckily he sort of like checked me over and he said straight away, I think you've got a UTI. So because he wasn't working, obviously he couldn't do anything, but he advised me to go to hospital to get checked. Unfortunately, I had a really rubbish experience in hospital, and sorry, just backtracking a little bit. Also, my sister was just leaving her shift in hospital because my sister's a student midwife. Well, she's qualified now, actually, she's a midwife, but she was just leaving her shift in hospital, so she actually brought back some urine test strips, and my sister tested my urine at my mum's, and it did come back confirming nitrates and leukocytes, which does confirm that I had a UTI. So he told me that I needed to go into hospital because I needed antibiotics, because a UTI that's not treated in pregnancy can be quite serious, and it can lead to preterm labour or a kidney infection and all of that kind of stuff. So he told me I needed to go to hospital. So I went into hospital, into the triage, and unfortunately I did have a really rubbish experience in there. They were busy, I know that the NHS and the midwives and stuff are under strain at the moment, but it just wasn't acceptable the way that I was treated. I did a urine sample for them, even though I told them that we've done one, and it confirmed nitrates, so I just needed antibiotics basically. Of course they had to do their own test. So I did a urine test in hospital, and they actually came back and told me that my urine was clear, and that basically I was fine. They did all my obs, my blood pressure was fine, my heart rate was fine, they put me on a CTG, monitored baby for an hour, everything was fine. So basically I was in there for over 6 hours. I left at about 2 o'clock in the morning. I was exhausted, and they basically just sent me away and said, you're fine. I was still having the pains, I was still feeling sick, so I rang my doctor in the morning, and I actually took a urine sample into my doctor the following morning, and they confirmed that yes, I have nitrates and leukocytes in my urine, so I do have a UTI and I need antibiotics. So yeah, really rubbish experience in the hospital, but I managed to get my antibiotics. Unfortunately, I then had a reaction to the antibiotics because I'm allergic to penicillin, and the ones that they gave me, it wasn't penicillin, it didn't have penicillin in it, but it does say in the instruction leaflet do not take if you have any allergies to penicillin. I didn't read that until after, but it wasn't too bad, and I managed to stop taking them just in time before it turned bad. And I luckily took enough antibiotics for it to clear the urine infection. So when I seen my midwife the following week, we checked my urine again. They sent it off to the lab for proper testing, and everything's fine. So apart from that, I have been okay. That was a really, really rubbish period with that UTI, and I didn't realise how poorly UTIs could make you feel in pregnancy. But fortunately, it didn't turn into kidney infection or preterm labour or anything like that. But it was just quite scary that, you know, the hospital sent me home at 36, 37 weeks pregnant with a UTI where I was having vomiting and abdominal pain. But yeah, grateful for the help that I did get, and obviously that everything turned out to be just fine. So apart from that, I've been feeling good, still been training. My training has really tapered down now. I'm in the birth preparation phase of my online program, Maternally Strong. So just keeping up with movements that just support my growing body, my growing bump that seems to be getting bigger and bigger every single day now. Keeping up with movements that are preventing any SPD or SI joint pain. I was getting quite a lot of SPD and SI pain in my right SI joint in the second trimester, but since I hit the third trimester, because I've adapted my training and included a lot more sling work and pelvic stability focused exercises, I've actually managed to like eliminate it. It's gone. Like I don't have any of it now, apart from like when I get up in the morning I'll be a little bit stiff, but compared to what I was feeling, like it's gone. And I'm just so, one, amazed at how amazing exercise is for the body, but also just grateful that I've been able to manage it myself. Yeah, so my training has tapered right down now. I'm only training a couple of times a week, and a lot of that is like mobility focused stuff, just helping me feel comfortable in my body, just keeping me moving, and lots of movements that are preparing me for birth. So getting baby into an optimal position, so lots of upright, forward and open positions and exercises. Like I said, a lot of pelvic mobility stuff, a lot of pelvic floor relaxation, because obviously that's really important for a vaginal birth, which I'm hoping to have again. So yeah, training is still going really well, and if you follow me on Instagram or TikTok, I do post quite a lot of my workouts and stuff on there if you are interested. On Instagram it's jaderow_fitness, and TikTok I think it's just jaderowx, but I will link them down here anyway. So yeah, feeling really, really good. One thing that I'm really happy about is that my heartburn has decreased a lot. Like I was having the most insane heartburn every single day. It was so bad. But I think where baby is now engaged and dropped, it's kind of eased off a little bit. The bad side to that is that I literally need to wee all of the time. Like all of the time. It's an absolute joke. Like I can't even go and do the food shopping now because there's no toilets in our Lidl. Well, we do the shopping in Lidl, there's no toilets in there, and I cannot drive to Lidl, get round and get home without needing a wee. I'm sure if I asked the Lidl staff, they would, you know, let me use the staff toilet, but I just send down to do the food shopping now because I just don't need that stress. But yeah, apart from all of that, everything's feeling really good. I'm feeling the most prepared I probably can. I've done really well with getting my work up together so I can have a little bit of maternity leave this time when the baby comes. We've sorted the house out. Like yesterday, we've had this like massive heat wave, haven't we? Where it's literally been like 35 degrees and I've been really, really struggling. But yesterday I literally got a sudden burst of energy to just hoover the whole house, and I actually went through every single cupboard in my kitchen, took everything out, cleaned all the shelves, threw things away and put them all back in, like everything's organized, and just like I didn't realize until after, when I was like sweating and overheating, what I'd done and that I'm nesting. So I think I'm getting really, really close. Another reason I think I'm getting close is last night I was actually woken up, I lost count how many times, but with like cramps, like period pain, feeling cramps, and I think they were contractions. Like I remember that's how it started with my daughter, and they weren't like painful, but they were uncomfortable and it was waking me up, and I remember thinking, oh no, this is it. But today I haven't had anything as of yet, so I don't know. But TMI, this morning I did have diarrhea, and I know that that's also a sign of impending labour. So I just feel like now I've sorted the house out, now I've got my work all up together, my body's starting to relax. I've like tapered my training down. I'm doing lots of meditation and pelvic floor relaxation. I feel like my body is now starting to prepare and relax, and I feel like it won't be long. I did go 10 days overdue with my daughter, so she was 10 days late or past her due date, so I'm kind of half expecting to maybe do the same, but at the same time I really don't see this baby coming in September. So I'm due the end of August. I just don't see it being a September baby with the way that I'm feeling, the Braxton Hicks that I've been getting, those pains last night that were waking me up, and TMI as well, but I've been losing my plug. And I know that doesn't necessarily mean anything, because your plug can grow back and people can lose it in, like, you know, the second, third trimester, but it's increased a lot recently, and I just have a really strong feeling that it's not that far away. So I wanted to do this video just to update you all on what's been going on and what I'm doing to prepare for labour. So I have been eating dates. So I did this with my daughter. There is actually research that shows eating 6 dates a day for, I think it's at least 13 days before birth, does help to soften the cervix. It also helps to reduce the length of labour, which is great. Everybody wants a shorter labour, right? And it also increases the likelihood of a spontaneous labour, so not needing any interventions or inductions. So I've been eating my dates every day, 6 dates a day. Luckily enough, I do just like dates to just eat, but if you didn't like eating dates, you could put them in like a smoothie or something. I haven't had any raspberry leaf tea, and I didn't do this with my daughter either. I said this time I was going to get some, but I don't know, I just haven't. I've forgotten. But maybe I should get some raspberry leaf tea, because that is meant to have helped as well. I've also now started harvesting colostrum. So if you don't know what that means, colostrum is like the milk that your breasts make during pregnancy before your like full milk comes in. So it's called liquid gold. It's like the yellow sticky substance that your breasts make during pregnancy and before your like milk transitions to normal breast milk. You can start harvesting colostrum from 37 weeks. They don't recommend you do it before 37 weeks because nipple stimulation can stimulate oxytocin, which can make the uterus contract, so it can sometimes cause contractions and make you go into labour. So they don't recommend doing it before 37 weeks. They also don't recommend doing it if you have any other risk factors, but I can't remember what they are. But I'm okay to do it, so I've started doing that recently. But basically all you do is I collect it in like little syringes. You just like sort of squeeze and then collect the colostrum in a syringe, and then I just date it and put it in the freezer, and it's good in the freezer for 6 months. Going to be starting perineal massage this evening with my partner. My partner did it for me last time with a Lula, and I do think it helped, because although I did tear with my daughter, I didn't tear at the perineum, so I do think it helps. There is research that suggests that this helps as well to reduce tearing. I don't think it's as necessary with a second birth, but I'm just willing to do everything I can to reduce the chance of tearing down there again. I did start it a lot earlier with my daughter, but honestly the second time around you just don't you're just not as organised. Well, I'm not anyway. So I said to my partner, we really need to start this tonight. So I think we're going to do that tonight, perineal massage. So if you don't know what that is, your perineum is the space in between your vagina and your anus, and sometimes this can tear during childbirth. So you basically just insert some clean fingers and sort of massage and stretch the tissue to help it stretch and get a little bit more elasticity there, and it just helps prepare for the stretching that happens during birth, basically during a vaginal birth. It's not exactly the most sexy or comfortable thing to do. It can be quite uncomfortable, but it's not painful, and I think it's a really good thing to do, not only to prepare you physically down there, but also mentally, because you can practice, like if you're doing hypnobirth, and you can practice your breathing and relaxing, and it just mentally prepares you a little bit more for some of the sensations that you may feel down there when giving birth. So I you can do it yourself. It's quite awkward doing it yourself though, I won't lie, and the thought of doing it, like I haven't got long nails at the moment, but the thought of doing it with long nails makes me feel really, really weird. So I do get my partner to do it. Like I said, it's not the most sexy thing to do, but if you've got a partner that you're comfortable with to do it, then that can help. So you just put a little bit of oil, we use coconut oil, or you can use any oil really, any safe oil, and just, yeah, massage that area. It feels a little bit like burny, so it can prepare you for like the ring of fire. Obviously it's nowhere near that level of giving birth, but it just, like I said, mentally prepares you a little bit for some of the sensations that you may feel down there. So that's another thing that I'm doing. And then the other things that I'm doing are just lots of breath work, pelvic floor relaxation, because if you didn't know, it's a myth that your pelvic floor pushes your baby out. It doesn't. Your uterus pushes your baby out. Your pelvic floor actually has to relax and get out of the way to let baby out. And if you're unable to relax your pelvic floor and your pelvic floor is tight, that can make things longer and more painful. So working on pelvic floor relaxation is really, really important. And like I mentioned, this is something that's included a lot in the birth prep phase of my online coaching program, Maternally Strong. So I'm just following that basically and making sure that I'm able to relax those muscles down there. So when I do come to pushing, I'm able to engage my TVA muscles, my core muscles, to help my uterus bear down and push, but my pelvic floor is going to release and help baby come out and not slow the process down basically. So your breath is really, really powerful. So I've been doing lots of breath work, and also meditation for pelvic floor relaxation, but also just to release any fears I have around birth. So I had quite a good experience with my daughter. I didn't have a traumatic birth or anything like that, but of course it's normal to have fear around being in pain, and nerves about giving birth. It's a huge, huge thing, and nobody can tell you that it doesn't hurt, because yeah, it does hurt. So I find that doing some sort of release work, like mental release work, to let go of any fears or anxieties you have around giving birth can be really, really powerful. Sometimes if you're really, really fearful, it can, you know, prohibit you from going into labour. So if you're overdue, I find that doing something like that can be really, really powerful for helping you go into labour, because we're intuitive beings, and if we have a lot of fear, that messes with our endocrine system and our hormones and things. And when the hormone balance isn't right, it's not going, like if you think about an animal, if an animal doesn't feel safe, they won't have their babies, because they're thinking about protecting their babies. It's instinct. So it's the same with us. If we don't feel safe and we don't feel calm and relaxed, then our body probably won't go into labour, because it needs to feel that, if that makes sense. So it's all to do with just surrendering, letting go, and just getting yourself into a really nice sympathetic state to where you feel ready to give birth. So that's another thing that I've been doing. I am planning a home birth this time. So we have everything that we need. We have a pool. I really, really want to give birth in the pool again. I don't know why, I've just got this weird thing about not giving birth in the water. It just terrifies me. I can't explain it. So we've got a birth pool, we have a liner, we have a hose, we have a tap adapter, all of those things, and then I've just got lots of other bits and bobs. So I have lots of like fairy lights that I want to decorate the room with. I'm going to be giving birth like literally here. This is where I'm planning to give birth anyway, so I'm going to be decorating the area with lots of fairy lights. I did buy these I got these on Vinted actually, but they're from New Look. So these like little peg lights, they're fairy lights, but they've got little pegs, and I'm going to be sticking these labour affirmation cards to them, because I just find these are really, really powerful as well. So it just says things like, my body knows how to have this baby just as my body knows how to grow this baby. Each contraction brings me closer to my baby. My contractions are not stronger than me because they are me. I am relaxed and calm. All of these like just nice affirmation cards that I'm going to stick to the peg lights and just dot around the place, so I can just keep myself in that nice positive mindset, to keep the oxytocin flowing, to keep me progressing through labour, and just reminding me that I can do this because I've done this before. I've also got my crystals, so I'm really into like my crystal healing and stuff, so I've got some crystals that I'm going to be using. I've also ordered some clary sage to diffuse in the room, as I've heard that can help stimulate contractions and help labour progress. And I've also got a labour massage oil coming, which again I think has clary sage, lavender, frankincense in, I think. So all of these little things are just to help set the scene and make it really, really nice. I do plan on filming my birth this time properly, like vlogging it from start to finish, so hopefully that will be a really nice video when that happens, and I just can't believe it's going to be so soon. But yeah, planning a home birth, and just want to quickly talk about the reasons why I'm planning a home birth. So I really wanted to have a home birth with my daughter, my first baby, but I was kind of not talked out of it, but I kind of got a little bit frightened because they basically said being a first-time mum, there are risks and things, so like there's higher risks, so it is more advised for you to go into hospital. So I did end up having her in hospital, well, in the birthing centre in the pool. But the reason why I'm so like pro home birth this time is because, like I said, I didn't have a bad experience with giving birth to my daughter at all. I think I had a really positive experience. But basically I laboured at home, and when I got to hospital I was 10 centimetres dilated, and I wasn't expecting to be that far dilated when I got to hospital. But as soon as I got to hospital I just went into fight or flight mode. I was really frightened, I didn't feel safe in my surroundings, the midwife made me feel a little bit nervous, and it just made everything feel really, really scary to me, and I don't want to feel like that this time. I don't really like hospitals anyway. I'd rather stay at home. Like the fact that I got to 10 centimetres at home by myself, and how close I was to having this baby in the car the first time around, I just want to be able to stay at home in my natural in my calm, happy place. Basically with my daughter, I got to hospital just after 3 AM and she was born at 4:48, so it was quite a quick labour, and I just hate the thought of trying to get to hospital in time and the baby coming in the car or anything like that. But also because I felt like my labour, my birth, the first time around was very rushed. So when I got to hospital, obviously I was 10 centimetres and it was time to push. My baby was coming. But basically because of the time that I got to hospital, I knew that it was near the end of shift, like changeover for the midwives, and I felt like the midwife that I had really wanted to get this baby out before the end of her shift. So she, like, because I guess it probably creates more work if you've got a changeover and handover to midwives, and I just found that the whole pushing process and everything was very, very rushed, and it just stressed me out. It wasn't nice at the time looking back on it. It was very much like hold your breath, bear down, push as hard as you can, push like you're having a poo. And now I know what I know, and I know that you don't necessarily need to hold your breath and bear down and push, and that does like increase the risk of tears and prolapse and things like that. I just want to be able to let my body do what it wants to do. I don't want to be rushed, I don't want to be told, I don't want to be coached. I just want to let my body do it. Obviously I know that there is, you know, if baby is getting distressed, there is a need to obviously get baby out as quickly as possible, but that wasn't the case with my birth, and she was fine. Like, she didn't need to come out that quick, so I just don't want that to be my experience this time. And I'm not like bad mouthing the midwife in any way. She was great, she got my baby here safely, but it was like once Alula was born, she literally said like, I've got loads of paperwork to do, so I'm gonna go because I want to get this done and ready, and it was like, I need to do this before the end of my shifts kind of thing. And I just, yeah, I'd rather be at home in a relaxed, calm environment, and just let my body do its thing. Just go with the flow. As long as baby's happy and the heartbeat's steady and everything's fine, I just don't want to rush that. And I get that everybody has their own opinion. Some people would never give birth at home because they feel safer in a hospital with medical professionals, and I completely get that, and I'm not, you know, saying that that's wrong or right or anything like that. It's just my personal preference. The only thing that I'm a little bit nervous about is the fact that there is a shortage of midwives at the moment, and my midwife explained to me that they are assessing it on a day-by-day basis, and I don't know until the day I go into labour whether there is anybody that will be able to come out to me. So basically when I go into labour, I just have to ring and obviously tell them that I'm planning a home birth and I'm in labour, and they will tell me whether there is a midwife available to come out or not. Now, my midwife did come round and speak to me about this in a lot of detail, and since she did, I do feel a lot better about it. Obviously it's really, really nervy. She told me that obviously she would advise, if there's no midwives around, for me to go to hospital to have the baby with a medical professional, a midwife. However, well, I could go to hospital or I could go to the maternity centre, like it's like a midwife run centre, which is about half an hour away. I could also go there, so I don't have to go to hospital, so that is always an option. Or I choose to stay at home against medical advice, obviously, and do a free birth. Now, a free birth is not illegal. It's, you know, legal. There are obviously risks that come with that, but I do know that there are people that do that. And obviously that's a decision. It's a very, very big decision. Like I said, there are risks that come with free birth. So if you don't know what a free birth is, it's basically giving birth unassisted. So if I rang up and they told me that there are no midwives around, I could then say, okay, well, I'm going to stay at home anyway, and if the baby comes before a midwife is available, then I will deliver this baby myself. Which it is like a scary thought because of what we're told, that we need to have a midwife and we need to have these medical professionals around us. But I feel like I could do it. I feel like there are people that do it. I know there are people that do it, and I've been looking into it. I have been looking into possibly getting a doula to help me. It is illegal to have anybody act as a midwife, but a doula is not acting as a midwife. They're just there for like the emotional support and things like that. And obviously a doula would have a lot more experience with home births and births in general, so you know, it would just make me feel a lot calmer about the situation. I haven't made my decision yet, and I don't need to make my decision until I'm actually in labour. I'm hoping there will be a midwife around, but at the same time, if there's not, and I choose to free birth, yeah, I don't really know. I haven't really thought about it too much because I'm just trying to stay positive that there will be a midwife available. But that's where I'm at the moment anyway, preparing for a home birth, manifesting a home birth, manifesting a midwife on call that can come out to me when I'm in labour, and just, yeah, manifesting all of the good things, all of the ways it can go right, and I'm going to have an amazing experience in my house. And yeah, so anyway, I feel like this video has literally just been me completely rambling, and it's been really, really messy, and I've probably been talking like too long. And yeah, it might be interesting to some of you though, but I'm going to leave this video here because, like I said, I just wanted to basically check in and give a little bit of an update. So it's just kind of like a little bit of a girly chit chat, if you like, and it doesn't need to be perfect, and the fact that it's messy and all over the place doesn't really matter. I've got baby brain, and I just wanted to check in basically and just touch base and update before this baby does arrive, because it could literally happen today after what I experienced last night. I could go into labour tonight, my waters could break as soon as I stop recording. You just never know, and I didn't want to leave my videos without checking in. I better show you the bump, haven't I? Quick little bump update. I feel absolutely huge. So this is the bump. Wow, it's grown so much. Absolutely love having a bump. I feel like I'm not as low. I do look quite low there though, but not as low as I was with my daughter. Like, I will put a picture here of me pregnant with my daughter, and I was really, really low, and that's why everyone was telling me that they thought it was a boy, because apparently boys are meant to be lower, but I don't know. Everyone's telling me this baby's a boy, but when I first found out I was pregnant, my instinct was girl, and then when everyone started saying that it's a boy, I started doubting myself and thinking boy as well. But recently I've had a change of heart, and I'm going back to my initial instinct, and I'm saying girl. I think it's a girl. I think I'm having another girl, and it's not long until I find out. I can't believe I've gone this whole pregnancy without finding out who they are, what they are. I'm so excited. I'm so excited for that moment that I pull them up and have a little look and find out who they are. It's just going to be so magical and so worth the wait. God, I've got such funny feelings, and I just feel like I'm getting close now. Like I really, really do feel like it's getting close. And my mum keeps sending me things like, oh, this is a sign, this is a sign, I think she's coming, because my mum thinks girl. My mum's probably the only one that's saying girl. But yeah, like I said, I'm rambling and I've been talking too much, and I probably haven't even covered everything that I want to cover, but I've just been going from here to here to here to here, da 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 da. But yeah, as you can tell, I'm getting excited now. Nerves are starting to kick in, as I said, but yeah, just wanted to do a little update. I am going to vlog, or I plan to vlog, my labour and birth experience, so that should probably be up, you know, soon, depending on when I go into labour. Like I said, I could always be late or overdue, as they say, but honestly guys, I don't think I'm going to be long. So I'm going to love you and leave you here. If you made it to the end of this video, then you're an absolute trooper for sitting through all my babbling. Thank you. If you enjoyed it, please give me a little thumbs up. Please drop in the comments below if you've had a home birth or a free birth, your experience. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel if you like all things pregnancy, motherhood and fitness related. And I will see you in my next video, whenever that may be, probably as a mum of 2. Oh, take care guys, and I'll see you soon. Bye bye.